certain dad that you just watched a film about. Taika Waititi.
Hi everyone. Lucky we stopped those credits early. Well, thanks for watching on a Sunday morning. I nearly didn't get up, but I'm glad you did. And if you've got any questions, I'm here to answer them. If you don't, that's also okay.
Taika, can you tell us how you stumbled across the young fellows who played Boy and sort of his background?
Sure. So the kid who played Boy, his name's James Rolliston, and all the kids that we cast were kind of locals to the area. James, we cast 3 days before we started shooting because we had another kid who was playing Boy, but I cast him about 8 months before, and by the time we got around to the rehearsals, he had sort of grown and he was going through adolescence and sort of getting too tall and too hairy. So I actually gave him another role in the film and put James in because we just met this kid James who'd come in to be an extra in one of the classroom scenes, and everyone was really impressed by him, and he was a really open kid, and so we cast him and didn't regret it.
So no acting experience?
No, none of the kids had acting experience, and it was like, I think overall there's probably about a year and a half of just looking at kids and just going through all the different schools and stuff. But yeah, so it was that was probably one of the harder parts of making the film. Yes.
I'm really moved by so much of the film, and one of the things that comes to mind is there are a lot of heavy themes that you're dealing with. And what was that like working with the kids? Did you guys talk about it? How did the kids process it?
Well, they all know that hot exists in the world, so it wasn't hard to explain that we're going to make that a part of the film. And I guess like the heavier content, like gangs and stuff is pretty normal as well in a lot of those areas, so they're all used to that. I think it's mainly for James and Tiaho, who plays Rocky. But with James, like the scene at the end and stuff, and some of those things, he's a pretty mature kid. So and he was, I think, 11 when we started shooting, and so it was. Now and then I'd have to have like a little conversation with him just to make sure he knew what was going on, and like with that scene in the garage or the garage where we have our fight and stuff. He would go away and just have a chat about what it meant and stuff like that, because he doesn't really know his dad, and it's just, I don't know, it's hard. You can't really like burden child actors with like motivations and backstory and stuff like that. They work on a simpler level. It's basically just am I angry, jealous, sad, happy in the scene, and it's better working with kids that way. I think always trying to get into the craft of it's too complicated, too boring. Hi.
Hi. I saw this was an original story that came to you.
Yeah, the story is, I grew up in the area, so that's where we shot in the house I grew up in and the school that I went to. But the rest of the story is made up. It was sort of based a lot on some of my experiences, other people's experiences. It's just a mishmash of things. But yeah, I just wanted to tell a story about kids growing up in those areas at a time that I consider a pretty special time to grow up in the 80s, and we were kind of left to your own devices a lot when when we were kids. We were sort of just let go of it, and you didn't come home till dark, and it was a good time.
I'm a filmmaker myself, and I just want to tell you that's an extraordinary piece of work.
Thanks.
I think we have time for one more question.
Okay, well, I'll give it to a younger audience member. Yes, you are.
How did you get from so hairy in the movie short? Was it a wig?
From big hair to this hair? Scissors? It's just a normal haircut. you know, it was my normal. Yeah, my hair grows pretty big. It gets out there, you know. So yeah. There's a little bit of makeup though for like, the tattoos and stuff like that.
Oh, how did he get jealous?
Sorry.
How did he get jealous? Like angry and jealous?
Oh yeah, well. Have you ever wanted like? Have you ever seen another kid with a chocolate bar and you wanted the chocolate bar but you didn't have the chocolate bar? That's sort. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's pretty much So that's kind of jealousy in a way.
I just want to know how you got from the community that you grew up in, which was a very small community, I assume.
Yeah.
Mostly Maori families.
Yeah.
To making motion.
Well,
Did you have a mentor, or what was your
Well, I think I was lucky in that. Well, Māori are very. Like, we have in our culture, we're very an arts-based culture. So it's like a lot of performance and a lot of traditional arts, like carving and like weaving and stuff like that. So it's got some very visual culture, but also. So that's on my father's side, so he's Māori, and on my mother's side, she's a school teacher. So a lot of my childhood was based in literature and reading and writing, and just having to do schoolwork because I had a teacher as a mum. And so I think with both of those influences, I just basically became just only interested in doing anything to do with the arts when I grew up. And like a lot of kids wanted to be, I don't know, they wanted to be truck drivers or, farmers, I don't know, hunters. So I was more interested in just performance and art, and I spent a lot of time in the city as well, so I got a lot of, I got a lot of exposure to a lot of different film than what you normally would if you was just living in the country. So I got the best of both worlds really, and I spent a lot of my life doing music and drama, and my background is painting. And so when I left university, I was doing acting for a few years, and acting in New Zealand is pretty boring. There's not a lot really to choose from. So in the end, I ended up trying to write my own stories and trying to make those. And I started making film in 2004. So that's before that.
I'm sure that Tycho will maybe wrap up.
Yeah, we'll go get a coffee and we'll talk.
But
But anyway, thanks so much.